My name is Divyang Mokaria. Today's date is 4th August 2023. I am interviewing Charanjit Pal Singh ji for the first time. The interview is taking place online and is being conducted on behalf of the 1947 Partition Archive. Yeah, so are we good to start?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
So I'll just ask you a few आपके personal background के questions. Can you for the record, can you tell us your whole name again?
Why?
For the record, आप अपना पूरा नाम वापस बता सकते हो क्या?
Yes, Charanjit Pal Singh.
Okay. जन्म के समय पे भी यही नाम था क्या?
You're slow, a little slow. What did you say?
Okay, जन्म के समय पे यही नाम था क्या आपका?
Didn't get you, sir.
Okay, at the time of your birth, was your
Yeah,
name the same?
same. Name was same at the time of birth.
Okay.
You can re-record if you want, because, sir, you want to question, you can do record if there's feeling. No, and then speak little pauses. Give me little pause in your
Okay.
language.
Okay, my volume is fine, right? My
Yeah.
volume is fine.
Volume is all right.
Okay,
Volume is all right.
I'll
But only
speak
question
slowly.
is the pauses which you have to give.
Okay, got it. आप जब छोटे थे, in your childhood, did you have any nicknames?
Yes, I am normally nicknamed by my family. I am called CHAN, Chan.
Chan. Okay. कौन बुलाता था आपको चन?
My mother, my sister, my brothers, and my brother-in-laws. Everyone in the family.
Okay. आपके पिताजी का नाम बता पाओगे क्या?
Yeah, Sardar Gulab Singh. Late Sardar Gulab Singh.
सरदार गुलाब सिंह.
Gulab Singh, yes.
Okay. And माता जी का नाम?
Mrs. Jameet Kaur.
Mrs.
Jameet, J-A-M-E-E-T.
Yeah. Double E-T.
Jameet Kaur.
कौर. Okay. आपका जन्म कौन सी जगह पर हुआ था?
I was born in Sinawali, Mandi, District Sargodha, West Punjab, Pakistan.
Okay, just 1 second. Pakistan, Western Sindh,
West Punjab, it was called West Punjab, Pakistan.
West Punjab. और
Or
गांव का
Pakistan.
नाम क्या बोला आपने?
Mine, whose name?
गांव का या शहर का नाम क्या
Town
बता?
Sinawali, S-I,
या
double L, S-I, double L-A-N, W-A-L-I, Sinawali, Mandi, M-A-D-I, Mandi.
ओके. और जिला भी आपने बताया ना?
हाँ जी, District Sargodha,
डिस्ट्रिक्ट सरगोधा.
S-A-R-G-O-D-H-A, Sargodha.
ओके. जन्म का साल तारीख कुछ याद है क्या?
Tarikh of
बर्थ.
date of birth, yes, 2nd December 1936.
ओके, गॉट इट.
So about 86 years now. I am about 86 now.
ओके, 86 years old. अगर आपको कोई पूछे, जैसे कि अगर मैं पूछूं कि आप अपने पिताजी की पीढ़ियां उंगलियों में गिन सकते हो, 2-3?
Why not?
कैन यू
Yes.
डू दैट? या.
शुरू करो.
हाँ हाँ, जरूर.
कितना काउंट करो? 10 तक.
आपको जितना याद हो.
पिताजी की पीढ़ियां.
हाँ.
पीढ़ियां तो I can go only up to 2. That's all.
That's
Sardar
okay.
Gulab Singh, and
Yeah.
his father's name was Sardar Meva Singh.
Okay. Sardar Gulab Singh, and his father's name was Sardar
Meva, M-E-W-A, Meva Singh. That is my grandfather, my Dadaji.
Okay. मॉम के साइड पे कोई याद होगा क्या किसी के नाम?
Yes, yes. My mother's name, as I told you, is Jameet Kaur. And my nani, her name was Karam Kaur.
करम कौर.
K-A-R-M, Karam. K-A-U-R, Karam. Kaur, mother's name, and her father's name was Sardar Kishan Singh, Kishan. That is my mother's father was Sardar Kishan Singh Batra, Batra. That is sub
अच्छा,
cause.
ये कौन था? पत्रा जी कौन?
मेरे नाना जी.
नाना जी तो
My Nana means my maternal grandfather.
ग्रैंडफादर। तो सरदार किशन सिंह कौन थे?
Sir Kishan Singh Batra, he was on this side of the country. He was staying at Raja Sansi,
हम्म।
district Amritsar, at the time of partition.
ओके, ठीक है। आप अपने आपका जो पूरा नाम है सिंह, अ, चरणजीत पाल सिंह, अपने सिंह कैसे नाम पड़ा या कुछ भी आपके फैमिली हिस्ट्री के बारे में
So
कुछ पता है?
invariably in the Sikh families, that is Sikh family, Sikh religion, the
या
last word is always Singh as far as men are concerned. And for the girls, it is always Kaur, Kaur. So this is how it came Singh and Kaur. Because anyone those days who was born in a Sikh family, a male member was termed Singh and a female was called Kaur.
ओके। एंड पाल किस चीज को सिग्निफाई करता है?
What signify?
पाल जो है ना आपका, चरणजीत पाल, डस पाल
No, no,
मीन,
no, pi nahi hai, Paul, P-A-L,
डस,
Paul, not
हाँ
pi.
हाँ पाल
Charanjit Paul, P-A-L, Paul. That doesn't signify anything. In fact, what my father decided that all his son's name he will put in between Paul.
ओके
My elder brother's name was Prithipal Singh. My younger brother's name was Dharampal Singh. My youngest brother's name was Pradamban Pal Singh. So he put Paul in between for all boys' names. It doesn't signify, but my father decided that in his family, he'll put Paul for all the male names, in addition to Singh, which is, of course, the last name used in the Sikh religion.
ओके। आपकी मम्मी का शादी के पहले कुछ अलग नाम हो, ऐसा कुछ आपको पता है?
No, 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 the same name was there.
ओके। आपके मम्मी पापा दोनों कहाँ बड़े हुए?
My mother was obviously brought up at Raja Sansi, that is district Amritsar, and my father was brought up near Silawali. There was a place known as Miawali and Jhang. I exactly don't know, but that was in West Punjab, that is now Pakistan.
ओके। मम्मी पापा की कुछ बातें याद है, जैसे कि वो अपने बचपन के बारे में कभी कुछ बताया हो उन्होंने, कुछ भी?
Yes, yes. My father told me a lot of stories about his brothers,
ओके।
his brothers. Because a very interesting story which I vividly remember is that my father told me that he was frequently bitten by a snake,
ओके।
and once or twice bitten by a snake. And his brother was so attached to him that he left his home and earth and went to a jungle. And from the jungle, he brought some sort of plants which were anti toxic and anti venomous. So he used to get that plant with him, and there used to be a grounded plant. They were made into powder, and that powder he used to take and he used to get all right. And that particular powder he continued to keep with him for years. And even at the time of partition, he left everything, but he brought that powder, small powder packet with him. That after partition, if the snake comes. So this is a very interesting story. He says that I am bitten by snakes so frequently that my brother left home and earth, and for 1 year he went to jungle. He met some yogis and brought this particular babhuti, a particular plant, which he made into babhuti and used to take. This is the most interesting story.
ओके।
Besides that, there were a number of other interesting stories, but that will take time. A number of other interesting stories which are embedded in my mind about my fathers. But that we can go on with the passage of time when you are interviewed. Otherwise, when I start telling the stories of my father, then the interview will be over in the next 40 minutes. I go on telling stories what he has been relating to me.
Okay. Can you tell us the brother's name that you're talking about in the story?
Yes. His brother's name, Sujan
Yeah.
Singh.
Um,
Sujan Singh.
yeah.
Sujan.
Hmm.
Sujan.
Okay.
Sardar Sujan Singh,
This was your father's brother.
brother.
Okay. And how old were you when your father told you this story? Would you remember anything?
Oh, yes. I must be in the age group of 6 or 7 at that time, between 6 and 7 years.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just have to jot a couple of downs in couple of things down in the middle. तो दो तीन कुछ कुछ pause लगे तो I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no.
ओके नाउ पार्टीशन के पहले 1947 पार्टीशन के पहले का आपको क्या याद है आप कहाँ थे?
I was at that time at Sinawali,
हम्म,
and background is that we, out of all the sisters and brothers we were there, out of that, the two sisters who were married, they were already on this side of the country. That is, they were already in India, they were married. And out of that, the younger married sister, whose name was Kuldeep Kaur, the younger, out of two sisters were married,
हम्म,
and out of the younger sister's name was Kuldeep Kaur.
ओके
And she was married at a very young age, at the age of about 15. She was married there. At that time, the age was girl's age of 15, you could marry. And after some years, she was diagnosed as a case of tuberculosis of the lung. That was a very difficult period, and
हम्म,
my father had to send her to Solan, Dharam. There's a Dharampur place, Solan and Simla, which was
yeah,
having the biggest sanatorium. And it was
okay,
considered quite far off from Sargodha or Silamani. So my father had to send before the partition, a few months before the partition, my mother, as well as my elder brother, Prithi Pal Singh, that
हम्म,
you go and make arrangement for this daughter of his at sanatorium at Dharampur near Solan. So before the partition took place, this sister also came to this side. Her husband was already serving in Simla in the secretariat. So this was a very difficult time because when the partition took place, unfortunately, or fortunate in one sense that they were saved, but unfortunately, both my elder sisters, as well as my elder brother Prithipal Singh, who also came with my sister Kuldeep Kaur and mother Jamit Kaur to Solan. So therefore, my elder brother, who was at that time about 24, 23, 24, he along with my mother and my elder, both the sisters were this side. So what we were left were in Pakistan, when Pakistan took place, we were three brothers and three sisters still there.
okay,
Three brothers and three sisters. And out of that, my eldest sister there, who was there in Pakistan, was hardly about 16 years. And I was about 11 years. So you see that my father had to look after the entire group, our entire family that is younger. The eldest out of that was only about 16 years, so unmarried. So other two sisters were younger to her, and then brothers were still younger to us. That I told you that my eldest sister there in Pakistan at that time partition was about 16, and I was hardly about 10 or 11. So they were very small people, small children, which he had to look after because his wife had already come with Jamiyat Kaur had already come to Solan, and her son, elder son, Prithpal Singh, had also moved to Solan to look after that. And meanwhile, partition took place. So they were stayed back on this side. They couldn't come to that side, and we had to stay back on that side.
ओके तो ये आपने शहर का नाम क्या बताया? व्हाट वाज द सिटीज नेम? सोला, धर्मपुर के आजू बाजू?
Then there was place Dharampur,
या
Solan, 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 very famous place. Solan is near Simla, a hill station nowadays, a very sprawling hill station nowadays. That
ओके,
time it was a small place, Solan, and Dharampur was a very, very small place. And Dharampur had a very big sanatorium, which was famous throughout India. That this
ओके,
sanatorium that was one of the topmost doctor, which vividly remember because it rang in my mind again and again that my sister has gone under his care. His name used to be Dr. Khushdewa Singh, and he was very famous. Even after partition, when we came, we went and paid our respects to him because he cured my sister there. So that sanatorium was there. But fortunately, somehow or the other, the disease had not developed to that extent that she required admission in the sanatorium. They said that she should be kept in a house close by. No arrangement for that house and living had to be made by my mother and my elder brother. So they had to stay back to make. Otherwise, if they admitted in the sanatorium, they could go back after admission. But she was not having that advanced stage. So there's no need of admission in the sanatorium, but you admit in the house close by because every morning she had to give them a treatment. The treatment were different. They were not medical treatment. Every day they had to give some pressure in the lungs and balloon the lungs, a particular lung, through pressure technique. So therefore, they had to stay back before the partition. Both, I mean, my sister, elder one, my mother, as well as my brother, they were there. And the eldest sister was already married, and both of them, my brother-in-law, eldest brother-in-law, and elder sister, they were already here, and he was posted in Boga. Moga is in Ferozpur district. So therefore, no question, he was already there. So we, three plus three brothers and three sisters were left at the time of partition.
Okay. तो आप पापा के साथ रह रहे थे ना, 6 भाई
Yeah,
बहन?
bilkul,
Okay.
bilkul. With my
So,
father's Sarkolabs.
so do you remember the house that you lived in
Oh, yes, I vividly remember. I'll tell you, I vividly remember the house. And I was so crazy to go to look to see my house that I made a trip to Pakistan in 2007 in April and went to that Haveli of mine to revive my memories of my stay. Because that was a big, huge house, huge house in that, because my father was a landlord cum industrialist, a well-known personality of that area. And in Silam Valley, he was one of the well-known personalities because those days, the landlords and the industrialists who were there in small town, they were respected a lot. And he was running a cotton and ginning mill where in that place and also had lands. So my house was situated there, Silam Valley, and that was a house. In fact, it was like a Haveli. It was like a Kothi, we called it, Kothi, Kothi or Haveli. And that Haveli was spread over an area of 8 canals plus. I mean, about 8 to 10 canals, which means a canal is about 500 yards. Multiplied by 8 means about 4,000 yards area. And in that Haveli, including the Haveli constructed area, there was a small orchard, small garden at the back. So that garden had windows, and that Haveli has windows looking into the garden, looking into the guy who sit down in the windows. Brothers could look into garden. So there used to be a sort of, competition between me and my younger brother that who will occupy the upper part of the window so that after coming from the school, he could see the backyard. That is the backyard containing the orchard. So therefore, I vividly remember each and every room. Because I was about 11 years when I left partition. So I vividly remember everything. How many rooms are there? Where people used to stay? Which was the balcony like? Which were the windows like? And this building was known as Guru Arjan building or
Guru
Koti.
Arjan.
Guru Arjan is the fifth Guru of the six.
Okay.
Guru Arjan Dev is the fifth Guru. You go anywhere, the fifth Guru of the six was Guru Arjan Dev. So this Haveli's name was given Guru Arjan Dev. And there was a huge big board on the gate, Guru Arjan Dev building. So therefore, I vividly remember. So I made a trip to revive my memories, as I told you, somewhere in 207.
2007.
2007. 2007. I'm just about a few years back, say about 15 years back or so, I went again. And that time I was grown up. I was I had just retired from service, police service.
Okay.
So I was given a visa. I went there and stayed for a week. And the people who met me there, that is unbounded love. I can tell you. The person who managed and asked for my visit and asked the authorities that I'll treat him and give it to him was a very famous industrialist from Karachi. He had been coming to India on certain seminars, etc. Since I was also a good speaker in seminars and very vocal, and we got friendly. So I once expressed my desire that I am from this place, and he said, "What's the problem? I'll get you here." So he asked for this thing, and they granted me visa. I went for 7 days, and the treatment they gave to me. I mean, even I cannot think that it was anything less than my closest relative. They gave me all affection, all love, सब प्यार और सत्कार, पूरा प्यार और सत्कार दिया। जैसे साथ साहब आ गए हैं जी, इनकी ये हवेली थी, ये है, उस हवेली में ले गए, each and every portion they showed me. So I vividly remember each and every part of the hवेली. This was your question.
That's lovely to hear.
Thank you.
वहां आप पूरा दिन क्या करते थे, कुछ बता सकते हो क्या?
Why not? Because I told you, पूरा दिन है कि morning you get up and have your breakfast and go to school, and you come back from the school, and after the schooling hours you'll go for the to the playground. But in between there were certain interesting things. You know, we had, as I told you, a sort of garden come orchard at the back of our house, and that orchard was managed or looked after by a gardener whose name was Imam Baksh. IMAM, Imam Baksh, a tall Pathan, Muslim. I think he was about 6'6" height, 6'6" height, and a beard where he used to apply mehndi. You know, you have got mehndi, this henna. He used to apply henna and look tall and imposing. So he will take us in the evening, the boys particularly, to the other part of the backyard, and there we had the cattle and all, and he will give us fresh milk. So evening was this, that we go there and he will just milk the cows or milk the buffaloes and give us fresh milk there itself while we are sitting there with him in his lap, some of us out of 3 brothers. So he'll give us a fresh milk, bring us back, and then after that we'll go. It is after the schooling hour. Then after that we'll go for our games, and games were not very this thing that very organized game. You had this we used to call it gulli danda. I don't know what you call it nowadays. Or we play kabaddi, or we play kushti, and there was no discrimination. I mean, this boy is Muslim, this boy is from low caste, this boy is high caste, and Mr. Charanjit Pal Singh belongs to the landlord family. It's nothing. All of us used to have kushti together. He is down and I am up, and he is up and I am down. So this sort of game, and then you come back, have a wash, then after the wash, you get your evening meal and go to sleep. Now, very vivid memories I have got the evening timings in my Haveli.
Yeah.
Now, this I can never forget. Now, whenever we came in the evening, there were no lights at that time. There was no electricity. That area had no electricity at that particular time. So evening, we had our servant who would go about lighting lanterns and lanterns in various rooms. And at times, he had Petromaxes, this German Petromaxes, pressure Petromaxes. So they will be hung on certain poles. And the entire Haveli will light it with these. Then after 10 o'clock or 10, 11, that man will come. He has to just say that now lighting have to be switched off. So he will switch off one by one lantern and keep some lanterns a little bit for the night away. So the lighting which used to there in the Haveli, I was always a child, remember. So I asked, when I visited this thing, this time now they had a lighting. So the person who was staying there, one of the older time, he said, sir, Sir Gulab Singh's Haveli continued to have that lighting arrangement till late and until we got electricity in Silamali. Now it is electrified town, it's a mandi, and it has become a tehsil headquarter. that you are asked me such a thing about Haveli. So I'm talking about that Haveli or Guru Arjan building. So when I visited, I said, a huge building, what are you utilizing it? He says, part of it has been converted into a Tehsil headquarters, a Tehsil office. So part of it was the sale office, and part of it was occupied by a person who had gone from India. He belonged to Karnal, a Muslim family, and he told me, he took me to each and every room of the Haveli, and I visited the Haveli. That is how I vividly remember, as you said, about my Haveli. Our Haveli, you may call, or Koti, you may call, or Gorjan building, you may call it entirely. We used to call it Koti, 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 Koti. That's how I remember.
Right. You remember so well. That's so nice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oil lantern and German petrol as a gas lamp is vivid in my mind, absolutely vivid. And because we had a large family, the koti was used properly. It was not like that. Girls are there, boys are there, servants are there. Your father is there. He is coming after work in the evening. So lot of, and then mostly he had Muslim friends. Mostly they were people who were Muslim friends, like bhattis, they used to call, or tiwanas. At that time, I tell you, since you are asking for memories, I was very young when one of the Nawabs, tiwanas, who belonged to the family of Khizariyat Khan Tiwana, who was once upon a time the chief minister of United Punjab, Khizariyat Khan Tiwana. So
क्या नाम
his
बताया?
Khizar Hayat Khan, Khizar, Khi, Khi,
KHI
Zar, Khizar
ZAR.
Hayat, Hayat, Khizar
Okay.
Hayat Khan Tiwana.
Okay.
His family member came and visited our Haveli. So they were outside Haveli, there were 3, 4 rooms. They were totally occupied by he and his entourage. He had entourage about 10, 12 people coming with him, with his jeeps, etc. So separate arrangements were made for their food so that there's no mixing up of the food. They normally like a different type of meat. So they would give it. My father was not particular. You must give them that what we are eating. He said, if they eat like that, let them eat like that. It is their religion. If we eat like that, let us eat like that. Their religion. Better there's no distinction between any religion to religion. All are image of the God. So I vividly remember that stayed with us for 6, 7 days outside rooms in the Haveli, and there was so much halla gulla. He'll call me and put me in his lap and all. Khizajat Khanan's to and families. So I remember those days very vividly.
What languages did you speak before the partition?
It was called Punjabi. We used to
Punjab.
call Punjabi. Actually, it was a script which Sikhs call it Gurmukhi, but it was Punjabi. Speaking language was Punjabi, written language was Gurmukhi, but we were more akin to Urdu there. Mostly we were in our classes, etc., used to be Urdu, but we were speaking Punjabi, either Punjabi or Urdu at times.
Okay. So your native language is Punjabi, right?
Very well, I know Punjabi very well.
Okay.
And in Punjabi, particularly, I remember which is in my mind because after partition, what happened, I left in my mind something for which I started having belief that what Guru Nanak had said, कि एक नूर से सब जग उपजया, कौन भरे कौन मंदे. From one light, the entire world is born. Who is good and who is bad? All are equal. एक नूर से सब जग उपजया, कौन भरे कौन मंदे. Who is good and who is bad? So from that, I learned my lesson of love and affection for the entire mankind. Now, there are certain other features which you'd like to know why. That is only when you come in sequence. When we came back when we came to India after the partition, after passing through various trials and tribulation, then on this side there were equal barbarity being committed on the Muslims on the our side of Punjab. This is now Indian Punjab. So from there, I saw one boy, hardly about 15 years old, close to our house near my Nanaji's house, Partition Singh's house, where we had ultimately come and stayed. He was being butchered by 6 Hindu boys at night. So I saw him from the parameter of my house where with the Kishan Singh I was staying with my Nanaji. And it left an everlasting. He was crying and bewailing. He belonged to a Muslim family. And his mother, I still remember the name. Wait 1 minute. Bakhta. Uh, that boy's mother's name was Bakhta.
Bhakta.
Bakhta Bibi. Bakhta Bibi. Bakhan. Bakhta
Okay.
Bibi. But a Muslim lady, she was she used to stitch clothes of our families. That is my Nanaji's family. Stitching. She used to have a window. She used to stitch clothes for the people at
Okay.
dining houses. And her son was he was sleeping on the terrace of the house. And when we had come back to stay with my Nanaji, and he was butchered. It was just after a few days of my migration from. So that left an everlasting impression in my mind. I said, we are no good. I mean, if we are creating that sort of atmosphere, if we can be as hateful, then there's no doubt that our people also are equally hateful. And there's no need to say this madness and religious frenzy, which was not something only confined to them. This madness and this frenzy was also there in our part of the country. The history is witness to that whatever was done, hatred did not get you any love. Hatred got you hatred. The dance of death, which was being played on both sides of the border, was unimaginable. I can tell you, because I saw corpses, dead bodies lying on the streets of Amritsar when I moved to this thing. And when I moved from Silamali, I found a train. We went to that. I tell you that we wanted to leave Silamali as early as possible after the partition because the things were going from bad to worse, though Sargodha side was a little less and Rawalpindi side was more. So my father, he says, all right, I'll arrange your departure by a train which is going from Silamali to Sargodha. And all right, Imam's son, my Mali's son, Ayub, he was hardly about 20, 24 years old. He had become absolutely fanatic. He was a younger group. So my Imam told my father, okay, sir, he is planning with certain radical elements, certain Muslim radical hate mongers to attack the Koti, to attack, because he was a lion man. So therefore, you should not try to have the children out as far as possible. Although we are there to guard you. Some of the Muslim families are there. He said, we'll guard the Koti. But anyway, it is better that you leave. I said, okay. My father said, okay. So this news went around in the Mandi. That
Hmm.
Sir Gulab Singh, who is one of the leader almost, or who is the most suspected man in the city, Silamali, he is leaving. His family is leaving. That means we are not safe here. So we went to Silamali railway station, and lo and behold, there were almost the entire town. I mean, entire town means Hindus particularly, and Sikhs. They were there at the railway station. Only one chap could board. They did not stop the train. The station master did not stop the train because the whole town wanted to get in. And the train was full of blood. The just person who got into the train was one doctor of a civil hospital of Sinawali, Dr. Bedi. Everybody remember, Bedi went, and when he found the train is full of blood at the next station, when the train slowed down, he and his family jumped down. And by night, they reached Sinawali. And they told us that the entire train was full of blood. That means the Sikhs and Hindus who wanted to migrate from Pakistan to India had been butchered. Similar news was coming from the other side that there are certain trains have come to Sargodha from Amritsar where reciprocal hatred and reciprocal merciless attacks have been made on the Muslim families. What
Okay.
they said was this madness and religious frenzy
Yeah, you were talking about the train.
I was talking that how this madness of religious frenzy occupied the people's mind, and how the killing was resorted to from one side and the other side. I
Right.
told you that when the train going from the Pakistan, they were butchered, Sikhs and all. The Muslim train coming from the other side, they were at one point pointed out. I mean, how far the rumor was correct, but it was pointed out to us that the limbs of all the travelers who were in that train which was coming to Pakistan had been chopped off before they boarded a particular station, either Amritsar or station in India. So these rumors, they also led to a lot of soulless and fanatic religious frenzy. You know, the ethnic unity and the cultural closeness which neighborly ties had created for years between the two parts, they were snapped or cut off by one red cliff line. The person gave on the map and drew a line that this side will be Pakistan, this side will be India, without bothering that it is splitting apart the two limbs of a society. It's splitting apart the two limbs of a body. I mean, if that was a body, you are splitting apart two limbs of the body, and therefore there was nobody. The people started indulging in soulless fanatics, sniffing out lives of the babies and children, and killing each other. But there were people who still believed that it could not catch on as if we'll have to leave and migrate from this country. For example, till the time of migration, everyone told my father, Sir Gulab Singh, that please you leave this because they're going to be very dangerous position coming up, and you leave this country as for the. He said he never agreed. He said, no, how is it possible? What has been done, the concept is that the Muslim majority rulers will come on this side. And their side, we have got the Hindu majority rulers, Hindu or Sikh majority rulers, they will be there. So I have seen history, this is my life, he has told us, where the rulers change, but the subject doesn't change. He says, what difference does it make tomorrow if the Muslim rulers come here and rule over us when we are staying? We are the subjects. We have been subjects of British, now we'll be subject of the Muslims. So there's no question. But nobody realized that this concept is going to the extent that there will only Muslim population on that side, and there will be no other religion to be surviving there. So this madness was not actually likely madness was not actually realized by old timers. Old timers always felt, no, this is wrong, it's not possible, it's not likely to do like this. So they when this started building up, when even in Silam Valley and Sargodha, this madness started building up and building up. At that time, there were three girls in the house and three boys were there. That my father was told, all right, even if I have to stay on after the partition, as you believe, still there can be attack on your koti. So you should fortify the koti, fortify the Haveli. Now, he also told, all right, I'll fortify to the extent this madness is over. When this madness and all and frenzy is over in both the countries, that time we'll stay on. So all right, I'll fortify the valley. You'll be surprised to know I still remember a young boy, very young, say about 11-year-old child, that how he was helped by his friends to bring in the koti certain swords, certain bhalas, and certain even hand grenades. That all right, you keep it here. If the Haveli is surrounded by rioters, then you should be able to defend from inside, and your servants should be able to defend themselves. So I still remember he told all my sisters that here is a cyanide. And in case the Haveli is overpowered and they take over, the writers take over, that time you should consume immediately cyanide so that your honor is saved. You die, but your honor is not violated by writers and all. And the young three sons, he told us that here is small swords and here are small hand grenades. You know, those hand grenades, earlier we used to have see them in marriages, etc., some explosion. But they had put something inside his servants and his friends, so that if the hand grenade is thrown from the perimeter wall of the Haveli on the crowd, it would explode and injure them to some extent. So I was so scared, telling my brothers, you don't touch it. You don't touch it to the younger brothers. All right, I will touch the hand grenade. You will not touch the hand grenade. What you should do is that if this thing happened, you should go fighting with your sword and get yourself killed. If somebody is saved, then he may even convert himself into Muslims. But in the case of girls, there's no question they should immediately commit suicide. So that was a state of mind in which we were at that time living. I mean, the child of 11 years or younger to him, who may be about just about 7 years, or the youngest who was about 5 years. A child of 5 years, etc., being told, and the girl being told to commit suicide. You imagine what psyche, what psychological impact this will create on the child. And when the Bedi family, I told you, came back from the train, that incident again added to the psychological trauma in the mind of all the children. So when we came after the partition, we were also having that psychological trauma. But when something happened in Rajasansi, close to the house of my Nanaji, and a Muslim boy being butchered, that changed my mind as far as I am concerned. I thought there's nothing. A hatred will go on getting hated. It is a fanaticism of the highest order. We should forget it, and we should try to have something which we call bring about sort of love between one and other family. No, actually, the difficulty that the riots broke out in a way which nobody was at that time thinking the riots will break out in such a way. But people thought, all right, for some months or some period, small period of time, the rioters will go on and ultimately peace will be brought out. But those people who at one time were responsible to propound the theory of two nations theory, they themselves could not control it. In fact, the two nations theory was propounded by people who themselves at one time were very, very pro-patriots. You see, you remember, if you read history, the two nation theory was not totally propounded by Mr. Jinnah. The word two nation theory was given by a professor, Sayyid Saab, who came, actually he came from abroad after getting education and established university in Aligarh, Muslim university. He was meant for an educationist. With the passage of time, this poison went into their mind, no, we will get dominated in the party after the partition in the independent India. So the two nation theory was propounded. And those people who were pro-India or in, I said totally, who said सारे जहां से मौलाना इकबाल, who said सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, हम बुलबुलें हैं इसकी ये गुलिस्तान हमारा. That Iqbal was the one who went to Pakistan. He said, no, we cannot live in this side. You know, this is a poison which spread gradually. When they initially propounded a theory of two nation theory, probably this was in consonance with what my father thought. All right, two nation theory means here the Muslim majority population will be there and the Muslim rulers will be there. We live under them amicably, those who are staying here. But we never knew that we'll never come back to the Havelis and houses where we live. And if you have any question, but I can add some 2-3 lines more before you have asked. That when we left the house, we still thought that we'll come back. From Chilamali, we went to Sargodha. From Sargodha, we got a truck. And you believe me, a truck which was carrying about 40 people or 50 people loaded into it, including the family of Sir Gulab Singh, who considered himself a very landlord, etc. All his 6 children were loaded into that. He says, I'll stay back. I'll come afterward. So long I get 6 places. So we were thrown like a luggage into the truck. And I had been operated. What is the dilemma? I had been operated for a bad sore about 2 days earlier before we got a truck for movement with the 30, 40 people. So my sore was bleeding. And my elder sister was keeping me somehow by bleeding with a little bit cloth from here and there so that it doesn't spoil that. So I was in pain. Younger brother was also in her lap. The youngest was also in lap. The 2 sisters were cuddled up. We had 6 children in a small guthrie on which we are all sitting, that we'll have a food en route when we reach there. So that was the state of affair in which we moved from Pakistan. En route, we saw people on the roads, convoys and convoys, and some rowdies will come from the peripheral villages, attack this. We were thanking our star that we were still in a vehicle, truck, which has got 4 or 5 Rajputana rifle guards guarding us, so he could take us away up to Amritsar. So people being butchered on the street, looted on the street, girls being taken away from those caravans which were moving towards huge big caravans of people moving kafilas, as you call it, moving from Pakistan to India and India to Pakistan. That state of affair nobody could have imagined at that time. So in any case, we reached after about 2-3 days of journey from Sargodha to Amritsar. And when what we saw, the paradise of our country, we were pushed into the refugee camps there. And from refugee camps, then we gradually went to my Nanaji, so we found out where is he and how is it went. So what I am saying is that all of us have passed through those turmoils. And when we left the Kothi, as I told you, we put everything my mother had left, including jewelry, including, they were put in various niches here and there. So there were small niches. Very interesting. I remember when I went back, I said there's a small tehana, you call it, a cellar under the ground, which was set for our season, summer season. We used to go and sleep there. So I asked the person who was staying there, I said, there was a cellar. He said, yes, cellar is there, sir, I'll take you. He took me to the Koti cellar inside. And I said, in cellar, there are these 3-4 almaras used to be there. He said, yes, the almaras are still there. So I said, in these almaras, my father had put some jewelry and some cash. He says, sir, almaras are still there. You have come now in 2007, and there's no cash and jewelry, but almaras are there if you want to inspect them. So we never thought. I mean, when we left, we thought we'll come back. We'll come back, stay here, and be again to all hunky-dory, and we live together. So this is the state of mind in which we left Pakistan. But it was never to be. We had to stay on, and then make our, again, rise in this country somehow. And that, girls and women who have been asked to consume poison in the Haveli if the mob grabs them. You can imagine what could be the state of mind of those girls. And we said, all right, we have to return to the Kothi. Whatever is happening is only a temporary phase. You want to have some more questions? Only I'm relating you. I mean, I'm bits from here and bits from there. You can have a relative. You want to ask something else, you can definitely ask.
Yeah, I'll ask you, do you want to have some water in the meantime?
I take it, no problem.
Yeah. I hope you're okay.
You want also?
No, I have my water. I had it. I wanted to ask you that from Sargodha, you moved to Amritsar.
Yeah.
And And how much time did you spend in the refugee camp? And do you remember anything about the refugee camp?
Yeah, I remember. Only a few days. I'll tell you very interesting thing there also. I'll not name the people. One of them is now, one of my very close relative is now global president. One of the president of Global Bank today. his father, his father, Dr. Gyan Singh, was a health officer at Amritsar. And he was the first nephew of my father. Yani my father and his father were real brothers.
Okay.
So after a few days stay in the refugee camp, we have got some water, some eatable. I mean, that is a miserable condition, huge, big crowd. A few days, I don't remember how many days. But then we informed them the address. My elder sister had some idea. Okay, this is there, some Dr. Gyan Singh is there and all that. So they could trace out them. And they took us, this is a very interesting thing that what happens to the people. They took us to their house. We heaved a sigh of grief that all right, it's a very close family. After all, it is my father's brother's son who is there, Dr. Gyan Singh, my father's real brother's son who was there, one of the brothers, not Sujan Singh. So after a few days, the wife of my cousin, Dr. Gyan Singh, she told my sister, elder sister, that you make your arrangement better because if there are some other people coming in the family, we cannot make everyone stay in the house. And she got quite traumatized because we had come from Pakistan, thought that now till my brother, who is already in India, joins us, or till my mother joins us, then because father had already been left behind in Pakistan, then he'll come subsequently. So somehow or the other, we were traumatized. This is any other of your relatives. Then my sister said, yes, there is a Raja Sansi village close by. My Nanaji is staying there. Then he was informed. And he brought some tonga, those are tonga, driven by a horse. Yeah. And not his, I mean, hired a tonga and put us and took us to there. There again, the conditions were, or we had to carry on with one change for 1 week to wash it and again, because it's not possible those to get clothes, etc. And neither the other side people can afford 6 people, 6 children in their house. Maybe my Nana, when he was quite old, my Nanaji and Maniji are quite old. So they couldn't, and they also belong, incidentally, they belong to a Hindu family. My Nanaji's father was Lala Jwala Shah. You see, there was no distinction. A Hindu had his son, Kishan Singh. And we had also the same relationship. There was no difference between a Hindu and a Sikh. There were hardly any difference between the family relations with the Muslims and the Sikhs, family relations. Of course, the living habits were different. Muslims and our living habits. So what I'm trying to say, then after that, we went to Rajasansi and we stayed there. And Rajasansi, we stayed quite about a year and so. Before that, after that, my father managed to come from Sargodha by air. My mother came to know, she was in Dharamkot, that we have reached here somehow. The rights were very difficult to communicate. My elder brother, who was there with my sister, he came to know. So they all clustered around in Rajasansi. Let's try to make some two ends meet first for the children. Then we were moved after some time to town Ludhiana in Punjab. Okay. And there again, we started our life career again. My brother started their own education. I my own education. My brother, elder brother, some other industry started. So we prospered. There's no doubt. After that, we prospered as it is. But my submission is that the difficult times also bring out the inherited as well as the acquired characters of a man outside. And if you are able to know that, so we said after that we were quite off with our cousins that you should not make us stay for 6 days, beyond 6 days. My bhabi, my cousin brother's wife comes and tells my sister, but Those were difficult days. They had all their own way of their all barbaric acts were being committed in Amritsar itself. There was looting, there was mutilation of the Muslim families in Amritsar also. So everyone had his own problems. So nobody knew that is the family of Sardar Gulab Singh, who had a cotton mill or who had a land there, landlord. They treated us as refugees, and we had to start ab initio. We never went back to Sinawali. We didn't have much to bring. All things were left there. The rupee value was not there. The rupee cash could not be brought. So we had to start ab initio. Everything we had to start ab initio as refugees. We were allotted a house in Ludhiana, some a vacuum property house for some Muslim who had left. And gradually we grew up and we prospered and are here before you giving an interview in USA. So the life is always, we were taken in a holistic manner. That's what I say. No, this fanaticism and soulless killing and behavior on the part of the people anywhere in the country, irrespective of the caste, creed, or any respect, this is something which is not there. In the human nature, it has been inculcated, it has been put by the barbarics. It's not there. Human nature, by and large, is very, very fine. But how far you refine this human nature? Fine is there. Refining is to be done by you. So that's what I feel. That let us not become soulless, being fanatic. I have dealt with Punjab terrorism. I have dealt with other, but I have never had this feeling that you become soulless. Try to convert the man with love and affection. Try to make him feel that love and affection can get you much more in life than only a sort of, which will last for decades, barbaric acts which are happening. You see, you remember, I'd like to remind you in the end about one particular poem, Amarta Pritam. She is a well-known poet who was given Padam Bhushan or Padam, I'm not sure, Padam Bhushan. Amarta Pritam, she writes beautiful poetry. She was called the sort of, poet of India at one time. So when partition took place, she wrote a poem, Aaj Akhan Waris Shah. Today I call upon Waris Shah. Waris Shah was who had written on how that
Daughters of Punjab.
how the Heer Ranja they defeated. Aaj Akhan Waris Shah nu, I call upon Waris Shah, ਕਿਤੇ ਕਬਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬੋਲ, to speak from the grave, ਕਿਤੇ ਕਬਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬੋਲ, ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਕਿਤਾਬੇ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦਾ, and the book of love, eternal, ਅੱਜ ਕਿਤਾਬੇ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਅਗਲਾ ਵਰਕਾ ਫੋਲ, ਇੱਕ ਰੋਈ ਸੀ ਧੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ, one girl was died and booted and she could not get her lover. ਇੱਕ ਰੋਈ ਸੀ ਧੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ, ਤੂੰ ਲਿਖ ਲਿਖ ਮਾਰੇ ਵਹਿਣ, you wrote lamentation and lamentation. ਅੱਜ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਰੋਂਦੀਆਂ, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵਾਰਿਸ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣ, ਉੱਠ ਦਰਦ ਮੰਡਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਦਿਆਂ, ਉੱਠ ਵੇਖ ਆਪਣਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ, ਇੱਥੇ ਲਹੂ ਦੀਆਂ ਲਾਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿਛੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਲਹੂ ਦਾ ਭਰਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ. ਮਤਲਬ ਤਨਾਬ ਨੂੰ synchronizing, little cry of the sensitive people from their hearts. That time, the sensitivity of these poets, etc., was broken. They said, what is happening in this country? What is happening in this region of the country? That's what I want to say, that I have said love because where the poets' sensitivity were aroused. Some people who did their education properly and all, I claim that those like me who learned from the barbaric acts of others. So there are people, but by and large, we still have to learn a lot. Being a very young interviewer, so a lot of things is to be learned. And we people who belong to this age, I mean, already I am in 86, etc. I can only tell my children, and they in turn have to tell their children.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
No, but
Getting
that's
it?
a lot. I wanted to ask that you said that you lived at your Nana's place for a while.
Yeah.
So, what place was that? What city?
Raja Sansi. This is a famous airport, yeah. Amritsar is the most famous airport in the country. It's an international airport.
Okay, Rajasansi.
It's an international airport, Raja
Oh,
Sansi, district Amritsar.
okay, District Amritsar.
No, it's an international airport.
Hmm. And just a minute. Are you running out of time? I do have a few questions left.
No. It's time to you. This
Oh,
the Zoom link is about another 40 minutes. You can ask anything. I am free. I had
yeah.
my bite and then I came. You ask any question. I'm there.
Okay. I wanted to ask you that before the partition, what festivals did you celebrate there?
What?
Before the partition, what festivals did you celebrate?
Oh yeah. Our celebration, our festivals are Lodi. We used to celebrate Lodi because
Yeah.
it was considered to be, you understand Lodi in India. We used to
Hmm.
celebrate Lodi. Because and also the kite flying there, Lodi had a kite flying. So my younger brother one day was flying kite on the terrace and he fell down. So I remember that while taking the thread, pushing behind, he fell down. So I remember kite flying in the Lodi was very important. Then we had Bisakhi. We
Okay.
celebrate Bisakhi, the festival of harvesting, as you call it.
Hmm.
And we used to have a festival of Diwali. And of course, Deepmala, Diwali, because
Hmm.
we as children were sent to the Ram Leela. And you believe me, although it was a little discriminatory treatment that we were given chairs, others were sitting on the ground, so we young boys, young girls from our family were given small chairs to sit down by the management committee of the Ram Leela. So when the Ram Leela is going on, we attend Ram Leela for 6, 7 days continuously, and how the Dhanush is broken and how we are excited and all. And Diwali was then a festival to be celebrated. So by and large, we celebrated these festivals. And of course, one other festival which was celebrated, not celebrated, which was considered to be from the Gurdwara point of view. That was they had Sangran. Every month there was some bhog in the Gurdwara. So we'll go and children and bow before Guru Granth Sahib and care when this is Sangran. But believe me, there's no such animosity. In the morning, we would hear from Gurdwara voice of Kirtan. And simultaneously, for a few years, we'll hear the namaz being, or the Imam giving his morning azan, morning, Allahu Akbar. No, they were all mixing up sounds. So no such thing, you go attack masjid, you go attack Gurdwara. So
Hmm.
what I'm saying is these are the festival you are saying. So festival में संग्रांद भी एक festival होता था which we used to celebrate. So these are the festival we celebrated. There's a lot of, and of course Holi, because colors, putting colors on each other was also all the children normal which we had Holi, Diwali, then we were Visakhi. These are the normal and constant seeing of Ramlila every year. I mean, I still cannot forget myself because I was a great. The evening we eat up, and evening eating was very interesting. Now you have to go in the evening and go to the Ramla. My mother said food has yet to be prepared or cook has yet to be prepared. All right, she'll bring very thick milk. The milk has been put in a sort of an earthenware and is being full day being heated. So this milk will have a lot of malai on that, as you call it, on the milk, crust of milk.
Yeah.
And underneath there's a milk. So she'll bring out that malai and milk and give you some roti and give you sugar. So you eat and you're very happy. No, 20 dishes, we are not happy. That was the time, we have to go for Ramlila. So in the evening, give us quick meal. So mother will all right, she'll make out some prontas, etc. This thing, oven, and then I have ordered to sabzi में टाइम लगेगा फिर she'll give me कि सब्जी में टाइम है हम आपको मलाई देती हूँ शुगर देती हूँ दूध देती हूँ But दूध was something a staple diet. You have and a very heavy milk. I mean that milk which has been boiled for full day or kept boiling full day in a earthenware. You can imagine it used to turn from white to a little brownish, the milk. It was so much thick. So we had that and go out. So these are the festivals which I told about Ram Leela, so I remember that days. So this is sort of your craving. Because there's no sit down, we say sometimes that people say, your children say, oh, so heavy. How will you take milk at night with these things, chapati? So there's difference. Difference is there, but we are changing with the times.
Right. Um, just give me 1 second. Do you remember any plays and performances जैसे कि बाहर से कोई नाटक करने या कभी आते थे वहां पाकिस्तान में?
I'll tell you, basically, it used to be the congregation where you had, mixed congregation. Because we had close by certain Havelis, other Havelis,
Hmm.
which were Muslim Havelis,
Okay.
Muslim Havelis. And they had traditional old singing and say traditional Urdu ghazals, Urdu songs. And my father also knew Urdu very well. So they will go and attend those. Although not necessarily that they were full of drinking at all. No, that was purely a cultural get together. The troupe has come, and in some Haveli, in some other Muslim friends' Haveli, some Tiwanas Haveli, there's today heritage singing. Let us say singing of Heer or singing of Soni Mewar or saying what the old songs which were there, were traditional songs, they used to be sung. So these people, troopers, used to come there. Another one was very interesting. Very you laugh it. We used to have circus. Circus is, of course, with an animal, etc. are there, and they show you various animals. So we had tentage. Under the tentage, these people bring these animals, I mean, lion and elephant, and this, and show it to us with about just ticket of two another, one another, and etc. But you go and see all these things. This is the third one was that lately, when before our 1 or 2 years before Pakistan, there started coming certain cinema talkies.
Hmm.
That means they'll bring a small canopy, two, three, and under this canopy, the projector will be there, and the projector will give you something on the stage. And those people who have good families, they'll be made to sit on the stage so that they can see the crowd is there. So these were things. We had circus, we had small talkies, cinema talkies, we had some shows in the adjoining Urdu show, Urdu ladies. But at the normal festivals we had there also, if Kirtan is there, either by a Hindu, Bandar, and they all will get congregation. So these are the festivals.
Right. Um. When did you get married?
I got married in 66.
1966. And where was it?
Ludhiana.
Ludhiana. Okay. Do you remember the day?
Yeah, what?
Do you
Yeah.
remember the day?
Oh, why not? My wife is there with me. She'll not let me forget the day.
No, no, not the day. As in, how was it then? Like, can you tell me a couple of things about that?
Oh,
That's
yeah. You remember the day.
yeah, no, not
Your
the date.
wedding anniversary cannot be forgotten. No, it was like that. By that time, I had done my post graduation. I had, I was in a job, etc. So we had a usual barat going, and
Hmm.
I'll tell you the weaker side of it. I hardly used to drink. I don't drink normally. Even nowadays, I don't drink. I
Hmm.
hardly. But my friends who had done post graduation, they were very fond of drinking. So what was there that when the barat was to go to the bride's house, some of these friends with my younger brother who was in the Air Force, the one who was there with me in the before partition, I had two brothers with me. One was DP Singh, who joined the Air Force. The second was PP Singh, Rahman Pazi, who joined the engineering department. So the younger to be DP, he was not married. So he was in the Air Force, who used to like his drink. So he got my friend and make them drunk like anything. Before we could reach the bride's house, they were sitting in the car when the entire festival wedding was completed. We had everything, prize, departure. Then he got and woke up about half an hour. They were sitting there all having drunk in the evening. So these things were there, but not very. I mean, but broth will go properly. At one point was there, my father was very, very strict about time. That at the time which you have given for a broth, it should not be the girl's side should not wait. Lot of respect to the girl's side. There was a lot of respect to the girl's side nowadays. So he says exactly at so much time I'll come and there'll be cracker outside 1 kilometer ahead. Now where you wear some cracker, that means the broth has come. Sir Gulab Singh's son is getting married. So cracker exactly 10 minutes before your house, the cracker will already indicate that we are coming. So don't bother. He used to tell his my father-in-law. So we'll be right in time. So that is only I remember only they say that my friend got drunk and they could never attend my wedding. And my father was so stickler at time, even he will not allow me to tie up my turban properly. You get we have reached the time, this thing. I have to reach it. So adherence to the time. These are the two features. Plus normal features, that you didn't have that sort of thing that you go and they had to have a small ghungat. We were so little ghungat at the time of Fera. When you have Fera, she has to a little ghungat. Although before that we might have met, but at that ceremony, the ghungat must be there. So the ghungat is not laughed at by my children, but she had that photograph with ghungat. Although she was educated, she was done her graduation and everything from one of the best institutions in the city of Ludhiana, government college. But ghungat was there, that has to be adhered to. So these are the marriage, graduation. Then before marriage, there was singing, the Sangeet, sort of we call it. So all the friends, all the girls, all they get together in our house and for 2 nights go on singing. These are the things that now was.
Okay, that sounds lovely. Um, uh, the meeting is about to end, and and I'm so sorry, but I still have like a couple of things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll end this meeting and I'll send you another link. Just give me 5 minutes.
No way, no issue. No
Yeah.
issue.
Thank you so much.
No
I'll be
issue.
back. I'll mail your daughter the link.
Thank you. So no issue. No issue, Devan. Thank you very much, John. Nice meeting you. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
I'll send you the link in just 5 minutes if you can. Do you wish to join again?
Now you want linkage still, you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, there are a few questions left if you're not tired, if you're willing to
No,
talk.
I am not tired. You finish. This link is over.
Yeah, this is over. I'll send you another one.
No issue. No issue. I'm
Okay.
sitting here. No. I'm sitting here because I have so many seminars that so the people come and have an interview, etc. Not here. But India they were having. So there's no issue for me. I sit for about 2-3 hours on my table.
Okay, thank you. I'll be back in just 5.
Thank you. No issue. No issue. Carry on.
Okay.
Carry on. I'm on vacation with my daughter at North Carolina. We happen to have come for a little bit of outing here. And lo and behold, I reached a place which is called Agilia Gardens. A beautiful place, suffused with lot of sense of flowers and lot of pines. A beautiful place as such. In between the place, there's a small little area which has been marked as refugee number 31. And refugee number 31 The sculptures created in response to the global refugee images was a sort of reminder to me that when I came from West Punjab to East Punjab or India, I was considered as a refugee, as an immigrant refugee, till I settled down there in India. And after many years, this particular image which was created in us, the way we were called everywhere, in every city, that he is a refugee from Pakistan. He is a refugee from such and such place of Pakistan. So we consider as if we are refugees. We don't belong to this country. But in due course of time, we adapted ourselves to the country, and the country also accepted us. Still, you will be surprised to know that as far as Pakistan is concerned, the people who have gone from India to Pakistan, they are still considered as refugees, and they are named as muhajireen. That is, they are not resident of Pakistan, but they are muhajirs. That is, they are refugees. So this reminded me all along what I was thinking of my migration from Pakistan at the time of partition of the country in 1947.